Okay, guys, here we are with another one. In this one, we have Dragon versus Stoofvlees. And the time control is 15 minutes, 3-second increment. Let's get right into it. Another crazy one, right? Now, this one is considered sort of a miniature when it comes to computer chess. So let's see this one actually. This one's actually 31 moves miniature, right? But here we go. E4, C5, knight f3, knight, and knight to f6. The Nimzovich variation of the Sicilian. It's aggressive and attacking. It's weird. It throws people off. So of course, if you want to looking for something actually Sicilian wise, this one is actually a very strange one to play. As you see, a lot of strong players will actually play this just to throw people off. Knight f6 hitting e4, and they're provoking you to play e5. Knight to c3 though from Dragon, smarter than that. But if you play knight c3, we have this center break with d5 immediately. Boom, nice move here. Breaking in the center, asking you what you're going to do. d4 is coming, e5 is coming. A lot of stuff is available. Bishop b5 check for Dragon, which is a usual move, followed by bishop to d7. And after bishop d7, we keep the pressure up. This game gets very wild. Actually, capturing this pawn will be very weak, and it will be able to be captured back almost immediately, and black has no issues. So to create issues, Dragon plays e5, which is a nice move, attacking the knight on f6. Black, in response, plays d4, keeping it very strange, and making sure your calculations are on point. So here, guys, would you take the knight, or would you move the knight? And your bishop is connected, so maybe you take here, then take the knight. What do you actually do in this position? Kind of strange. What do you do? Here's the move. In fact, Dragon says, so what? Make it complicated. Make it complicated. Black's going to be the one out here looking crazy. And how? Well, let's see. E takes f6, D takes c3. F takes g7 first, so damaging the king structure. Right? Ours is going to be pretty good, especially if we decide to castle. F takes g7, bishop, or sorry, C takes d2 first with check. We respond to the check. The queen comes out instead of taking with the bishop. Kind of wanted to defend here and maybe actually get the queen active via f4 or g5. After bishop takes g7, instead of castling, which loses a piece immediately, bishop takes d7, which helps him develop a piece. The move here was actually a4. Very hard move to find because you're voluntarily doubling the pawns, but you're saying, hey, you're not going to castle at all. And this position is probably going to be slightly better for white, even though the structure is a little bit weird. We just have piece activity. A4, knight to c6 from Stoofvlees, saying, you know what, we're not going to have any of that. You can have it. Your bishop kind of looks strange here, especially with my knight on c6. But we don't care. Dragon just castles, gets out the way. Knight d4. We want some trades. Our position isn't the greatest, it looks like. We want to castle, but not really. I mean, and then do we castle queenside? We played the Sicilian, right? So a lot of times it is harder to castle queenside in the Sicilians. Certain ones. So after knight to d4, there was a trade. We take those, he takes right back, and then queen to g5. Definitely white is on the attack here. You would like to be white in this position as we're just active. We're already castled. The rook can come to the file with a smile. Don't keep your king in the center, guys. Don't keep your king in the center. I hope you're remembering this, taking notes. Don't keep your king in the center. Watch this. After queen g5, bishop f6, attacking the queen. We got to move the queen. So queen h6. We just get out of the way. Have a nice day. Quite simple. Queen h6, bishop takes b5. We trade them off. Open the file with a smile. We'll take those, right? You're just going to take back? Is that what you're going to do, chat? You're going to take this, right? Right? Or rook e1. When you find a good move, you look for a better one. That's from Lasker. So rook e1, very nice move. You're like, how is this even better? Bro, what? Didn't he just drop a piece? Well, in fact, if you move the bishop, I take on f6. Pressure. Why? Because your king is in the center. Your king is in the center. Wow. Very nice. So after rook e1, rook to g8 says, go ahead. You know what? Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm going to try to hit you this way. So queen takes f6. And surprisingly, did not go bishop c6 because of bishop g5. Really, really rough situation. So bishop to d7 from black. Bishop d7 backing up. And now do we put pressure, right? Is bishop g5 a move here? Bishop g5? It is a move, but you have bishop e6. And now, I mean, this is kind of strange. And sacrificing actually doesn't work on e6 like you would like to. So it didn't work. It didn't happen. In fact, after bishop b7, we had to go back home. But again, the king's in the center. We're about to take on h7, right? So black plays h6 to stop kind of all this h7 business. So he plays h6. I'm like, yo, take it. We're just trying to mess you up, really. And white plays g3, which is a very strong move, letting us know, hey, the engine is super strong, but also saying, hey, you know what? We don't have to take this right now. And this is your pressure point. This is what you want to do. So we're going to stop you from doing it. And g3, now bishop to c6 with queen d5 intentions. But we say intentions because you get mated if you move your queen off the back rank too far. Think about moving it too far, you get mated. So in fact, what Dragon did here was a cool move, Queen F6. And at first I was like, what in the world does Queen F6 actually do? You're probably asking that yourself. What is this move? What does this actually do? Why is my queen on F6? I mean, yeah, I'm already pinning, but why did I bring it in closer? Well, here's the answer. If E6 happens, what do? What happens if E6 happens on the board? What do you think? Take a second here. It's a deterrent to E6 because of boom, right there. Rook takes E6. Ouch. Hit that man with a move. Rook takes E6 is nasty. After takes, you take with the queen. And if queen E7, then we take those, right? And then we can move the bishop out. Maybe some more checks. Don't hang mate. Like just don't do that. There's mate coming. So, you can't. Taking this, you in a lot of trouble, right? Mate on the back rank. But you have queen G4. You should be end up winning this. Maybe getting the bishop out quickly. White's just better. In fact, engine gives like +3 there. So after king f8, right? Bishop takes h6, boom, rook g7. And you can't actually win this right now, but this is actually completely winning as black is completely tied down. This rook is out of the game. So in fact, you can just look at it as like, let's just move this rook off the board. It just disappears because it's not even useful. The only pieces you're using are these three and they're tied down, right? So this is actually a very nice combination. That didn't happen. After queen f6, there was d3. Realizing, oh snap, my king in the center, rook's disconnected. This is already lost. We're on move 18. D3, right? So D3 happens, white plays rook to A3. Who saw that one coming? Saying, go ahead, take it. D2, doesn't matter, I'm going to take those. You still got to have the queen defending E7. Nastiness. So after rook A3, he takes. He says, all right, cool, I'm going to take on C2. Now, what move do you make, guys? Rook A3 had an intention to it. Always have intentions to your moves. Why did you go here? Why did you go here? Not only to put pressure on D3, but to also double on the file. What a smile. Come on now. Double. Wow, this is gross now. Now you're forced to play E6, and the rest is history. This is over. Rook takes C6. Take those, right? And then, of course, in fact, this one is strange. Let me actually show you what happens. On bishop takes H6, this is actually a draw now. After rook G7, the reason being is because the pawn's on C2. A lot of us would actually go into this. And this is, again, if you're taking notes, make sure when you find a good move, look for a better one. Because this looked great before, but things changed. And because the position changed, that means that this same thing doesn't work any longer. You're actually down a full piece, right? And he's about to queen. There's a lot of queen D1 action in there at the right moment because you can get mated quickly. But it's scary. It's crazy how chess is sometimes. Instead of bishop takes H6, there was this cool move right here, B3. Unbelievable. B3? Out of all of that, stopping to play, oh, B3. So after this B3 move, it was pretty nice, right? We about to go bishop A3 check. That's the intention. Black plays rook to G5. And of course, you could take the rook, but that would be a fatal error. Why would we do that? Bishop A3 is what we wanted to do. This was our intention. Now, after bishop A3, there is an option to play king G7. But after king G7, you run into this line. Bishop here. If king H7, then you actually end up getting mated. So after king F8, you take on H6. I mean, look at this beautiful geometry here. King G8, check, right? And because the rook is stopping everything, queen H7, right? And then after king F8, you go bishop A3. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, look at that little, like, geometry there. Hopefully you did good in geometry in school, because it helps. It helps. All right, so king F8. Queen F8, this actually didn't happen. King F8 right here, B3. And then rook G5, bishop A3 check, and then rook C5. Boom, rook C5, because he kind of had to. We saw the mate coming. Now, if this is your best move or the move you're choosing, it's already over. It was already over anyway, though. But now we just take the rook, right? Bishop takes C5. Just take it, right? Now, as a human, we're going to just take this rook. 100%, we're going to take this rook. But because this is an engine, the best move, most accurate, mate in 7, is this move right here. Like, it's miraculous sometimes. Like, some of the moves they make, that's like, what? But as a human, you can just take the rook. Queen F5 check. Right, and then king G7, and then we take the rook now, right? Let's take the rook. Take the rook. Psych. Got him. Bishop B2 check. Bishop B2 check. We don't care about it. He's like, bro, take my rook. Take my rook. Take my rook. Right, says Stoofvlees. And of course, he's like, all right, bro, I got to take it this time. Bishop takes E5 check. Very nice. King G8, and then we're mating. Check here. Check there. Bishop is important. You could attack with the queen as well, obviously. But king to g8, bishop takes h6, king h8, and queen g7 checkmate. Nice total blow there. One thing to take away from this game is don't keep your king in the center. The trades was trying to happen, trying to get the trades off, but was unfortunately unsuccessful, right? It didn't work. So make sure you don't keep your king in the center, because if you do, this could happen to you in every one of your games, right? Hopefully you enjoyed today's game. If you enjoyed this one, check the next one right above me. Don't go anywhere. We're going to see you guys on the next video.